Am I the a-hole for convincing my cousin that using onions in chili is woke as a prank, causing him to change his recipe and freak out? My cousin is obsessed with making chili, and I'll give him credit. He's good at it. He grinds his own spices, slow cooks everything from scratch, and swears by his perfect balance of flavors. One of his staples? Onions. Always fresh, always diced just right. Now, for the past couple of years, my cousin has gone off the deep end with his anti-woke obsession. He sees everything through that lens, constantly ranting about how the world is being ruined by whatever new thing he decides is too progressive. It's exhausting. So, the other weekend, while he was making his famous chili, I decided to mess with him a little. I casually said, surprised you still use onions." He furrowed his brow. "What do you mean?" I shrugged. "You didn't hear? Onions in chili are woke. Everyone's talking about it." He stared at me dead serious. "How?" I made up some nonsense about how traditional cowboy chili never had onions, how some food bloggers in Portland started adding them to make chili more inclusive, and how modern nutritionists push onions because they're sustainable and eco-friendly compared to meat. He went quiet. I assumed he'd laugh it off. After all, we've always pranked each other. But he stayed completely silent the rest of dinner. Then, a week later, I went over to his place again. He was making chili, but something was off. I took a bite and immediately noticed no onions. "Wait, where's the onions?" I asked. He looked at me with absolute conviction. "I don't mess with that woke stuff." I laughed, thinking he was messing with me back. But nope, he was dead serious. Everyone else at the table was just as confused. I tried to tell him I was joking, but he flipped out. He dumped the whole pot of chili in the sink and kicked everyone out of his house. Later, I got a text from him saying, "I looked this up and onions aren't woke. You lied to me. How could you do this?" I thought this was hilarious, but he was genuinely furious. He said I crossed a line, made him question his own chili, and betrayed him. I pointed out that if this whole thing made him question his food choices this much, maybe he was taking the whole anti-woke thing too seriously. He ignored that and demanded an apology. So did I go too far?